now. Stuart, how are you finding it on this side after yesterday?
It's completely different, but at least I got a choice here.
And another quality shirt today, thanks very much. Another one of your brothers?
No, I actually got this myself in Switzerland. So.
Right, no one else to blame this time.
That's right.
OK. Now, earlier I gave you some information about the panellists to sort of mull over in your mind, but didn't tie down the information to the person. So, Tony, who looks like they've got a degree in town planning?
I'll go for John.
Why?
He just looks like it's one of those boring, mundane jobs, and it looks like that could be John. Yeah.
You say John is boring and mundane?
No, he looks like he could be doing a boring and mundane job.
Why do you think that?
Well, he looks pretty ordinary, really, you know. Just so it's a pretty ordinary job.
What, just the brown shirt, perhaps, a plain brown?
Yeah, it's not very appetising, really, is it? It's a bit dowdy, isn't it, really?
OK, would you agree with that, Stuart?
Actually, I disagree with that. I think Clive's the town planner. He looks like he's works probably drawing maps and towns all day. OK,
who's the Laurel and Hardy fan, then, Stuart?
I say it's a toss-up between Dave and Lisa, but I'll plump for Lisa. I think she looks like she likes her comedy.
Tony?
I think that's Dave. He looks a bit of a comedian.
You think he's got
a bit of a cheeky sort of face, yeah.
Cheeky face. OK, well, I can put you out of your misery. Let's start here with Clive, who is, in fact, the former croupier in Russia. Interesting job.
Yeah.
How did you come to be a croupier in Russia?
Well, after I was a croupier in Las Vegas. I was in the profession for 12 years.
Wow. And what do you do now?
Now I'm a playwright.
And which was the more interesting of the two jobs, do you think?
I know what kept the adrenaline going the most.
Really? Let's move on to Dave, who has a degree in town planning. This is my man with a comical face. Are you a bit worried about the comical face thing?
Not really, no. No, I was expecting some sort of Oliver Hardy jibes with this stomach, but no worries about that.
And town planning apparently a very dull job.
I wouldn't know. I haven't been a town planner ever since I left college, so...
Oh, right. So that's something you
I think
used...
that says it all.
Right. And what do you do for a living now?
I design road signs.
Is that a lot more interesting?
It probably gets me out of the house a bit more, gets me out of the office a bit more. So.
OK, then, well, Lisa has visited 40 countries, so you're travelling around a bit.
I'm actually cabin crew.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
And here's the crucial question. How do you judge who gets an upgrade?
It only happens if it's actually full. If you were seated in economy and it was full,
right,
you would get an upgrade. Obviously, judgment again, and judging people, the way they dress, the way they present themselves.
Say, for example, I was to happen to stroll in there and you had an extra seat going, dressed
I'd upgrade
like this.
You, yeah.
Would you? I think you're going to do very well on this show. Thank you very OK, let's go to John, who I'm sure you've worked out by now is, in fact, the Laurel and Hardy fan.
Well, I've always been interested in comedy from the 1920s, Harold Lloyd, Buster Keaton, but particularly Laurel and Hardy, and then up through to Abbott and Costello. Just their humour and comedy was brilliant, timing was brilliant, and I just got hooked on Laurel and Hardy when I was younger. OK, well, with such a great sense of humour, obviously, what do you do for a living? I'm a policeman. Right, plainly the laughing policeman. So, Tony and Stuart, now you know more about our panellists. Let's see if it affects your judgments as we enter the next round, Judge Match. In this round, you can choose to answer questions from 6 subject categories, and they are EastEnders, Seas and Oceans, 70s pop music, coins and currencies, sport and the Bible. There are 2 parts to this round. First, you will answer questions on your chosen category against a panel member of your choosing. It's a head-to-head, and this is your chance to rack up points against the panel member who, in your judgment, will be your easiest opponent in your chosen subject. Stuart, as you scored most in round 1, you get to go first. Pick a subject.
I'll go for coins and currencies.
Why?
I've travelled a little bit, so I've used a few currencies.
OK. So who do you think is going to be your easiest opponent, the person least effective in blocking you?
I'll go for John.
Why is that?
He's a policeman, so maybe he spends a lot of time in this country, so I'm not sure how much he's travelled, so hopefully not too much. OK. Well, don't forget, it's your job to try and block him as much as possible. The more you get right, the greater chance you've got of returning on the next show as a player. Right, gentlemen, take your places for Judge Match. There are 45 seconds on the clock. If either of you answer incorrectly, I'll pass it on to the other to have a go. Right, fingers on the buzzers. Start the clock.
A letter S with a vertical line through it is that, Stuart?
Dollar.
Correct. The Prince of Wales' feathers are on the reverse of which British coin? Stuart?
2 pence.
Is correct. The euro is divided into 100 of which, John?
Cents.
Correct. What is the unit of currency in Japan? Stuart?
Yen.
Is correct. The baht is the currency of which?
Thailand.
Stuart?
Thailand.
Correct. Which pre-decimal British coin was worth 2 shillings and sixpence? Stuart?
Half a crown.
Is correct. Sir Edmund Hillary appears on the $5 note of which Commonwealth? Stuart?
Canada.
Is incorrect. Pass across.
Australia.
Is incorrect. It's New Zealand. Which country replaced the escudo with the euro? Stuart?
Portugal.
Correct. Time up. Please return to your places. John, just the one then. Tough round?
Too quick for me.
Is that what it was?
I think so.
Have you travelled around much?
Fair bit of travelling, yeah.
All right, thank you very much. Stuart, 6.
Yeah, not too bad.
Not too bad, I'd say. That was a good round, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
All right, so Tony, it's your turn to choose from the 5 subjects. Which one do you want?
I think we'll go for sport.
Why?
Well, I'm very sport. I play several sports, so, you know, I watch it on the television. So
Watch a lot of sports.
Hopefully, the questions are all right for me.
All right, then. So you've got to decide who's the least athletic opposite you. Who's the person least interested in
Well,
sport?
considering she's probably sitting down on a plane or she's up in the air all the time, I'd have to go for Lisa, I think. She probably doesn't watch a lot of sport because she's probably always in another country, so I shouldn't think it's one of her hot subjects.
We'll see. Let's play Judge Match. Same rules as before, 45 seconds on the clock. Your time starts now. How many goals did footballer Jeff Hurst score in the 1960s? Tony?
3.
That's correct. For which country has Shane Warne played international? Tony?
Australia.
Correct. The name of which Korean martial art literally translates into English as kick fist method? Taekwondo. Which record-breaking swimmer has attracted the nickname Torpedo? Tony?
Thorpe. Neil Thorpe, no.
No, it's incorrect. Pass it across. Lisa?
Ian Thorpe.
Is correct. In US baseball, which annual championship is contested between the winning teams of the 2 major leagues? Time out. World Series. On which fine-grained court surface is the French Open of tennis played? Lisa, time
Clay.
out. Sadly, it was clay, but we were time out on it. Thank you both for playing. Please to return to your places. Lisa, you managed to block again, just the one. Not your strong point?
No, the questions weren't right. I'm more into football.
Are you? You're more, really? So you do find time between flying to watch some sport?
I have to, because my husband watches it all the time.
Ah, who do you support?
Man City.
Right, moving straight across to Tony. Tony, 2 points.
Yeah, not good enough, I'm afraid.
Not quite good enough so far, but you're going to get a second chance. We're actually midway through Judge Match at the moment. You've both played once, and now you will both play again. You'll still choose your own categories, but this time you will choose the other player's opponent from the panel, the one that you think will be most successful at blocking your opponent in their chosen category. Stuart, you're in the lead at the moment, so you get to choose first from the subjects remaining.
I'll go for seas and oceans.
Because?
Again, the travel aspect. I've been around the world once, so I've flown over all the oceans.
And you're hoping that that same information that helped you on coins and currencies will take you around the world in oceans?
Fingers crossed.
So, Tony, you have to decide.
Right.
Who is going to be best equipped to block Stuart on the subject of oceans?
Well, Dave helped me out in the first round and he was very quick, so I think we've got to go for Dave.
All right, then. Well, in that case, Dave, Stuart, please take your places for Judge Match. Here we go, 45 seconds on the clock. Let's get straight into it. Start the clock. Cyprus is the most easterly island in which sea? Stuart?
Mediterranean.
Correct. Which ocean covers approximately 1/3 of the Earth's? Stuart?
Pacific.
Is correct. Cuba is the largest island in... Dave?
Caribbean.
Correct. Which African country has a coastline on both the Atlantic and... Dave?
South Africa.
Correct. The Suez Canal links the Mediterranean with which? Stuart?
The Red Sea.
Correct. Containing the Great Barrier Reef, the coral sea lies...